All right, yo, what's going on? It is Tuesday, Trivia Tuesday, 3 o'clock here in Guttenberg, Iowa, June 9th, I want to say, 9th, June 9th, 2020. I always try to guess and check just to see how out of touch I am with kind of everyday living, and I'm still pretty out of touch with everyday living, as we've seen here. But I do know that it's Tuesday. Good to see you guys in here. Stevie76, Bert Leguess, Jeff Elliott, Nathan N, Scott. Awesome. Good to see you guys. It is currently raining pretty hard here in Iowa, but I was able to get my miles in earlier today. So feeling pretty good about that. And I'm switching up a couple of things here. One is I moved where the laptop is. I used to have the laptop to the side a little bit, and at least it looked it was looking like if I had the website kind of browser thing up, it would look like I was looking at it. But instead, I've tried moving the laptop directly underneath the camera. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully that looks a little bit more natural in terms of me interacting with you guys. So awesome. Mario Glory coming in, alternating with, Mario's been commenting on a lot of stuff the past couple of days, alternating with just yelling A6 Tartharzial 6. And that's the only thing he'll say, and say his name. Sometimes he says both. Sometimes he only says A6. So, I mean, it looks like he's in here now having fun. So, what's going on, Mario? Hopefully you're having a great day. I love you. You're welcome here. You don't have to scream at us. Thank you. Nathan N says it's raining in Hawaii. Awesome. Hopefully you guys are doing okay over there. Maybe there's some recovery happening. I'm not sure. I hear the tourism industry really got kind of slammed hard there for obvious reasons. Flash Mob Bob, awesome. Hello from the UK. What's going on? Lewis Cameron says, everybody's enjoyed today's video. Can't believe you're going to do 30-mile unsupported, self-supported. Yeah, I think they had definitions for it on the fastest known time website. Self-supported allows me to go along the route and cache supplies. So if I wanted to leave water bottles and or food along the route, that would be okay. Which would make sense if I were doing maybe more of a multi-day trip, something like that where I couldn't carry everything. And then I think unsupported is if you carry everything with your person and don't pick up anything along the route. And so I think that will count as unsupported. So we'll go for it. I mean, it's kind of like a relief to make it the 30. I still haven't submitted the new entry on the route yet though. But to kind of give some of the backstory, I'm trying to do a fastest known time on a trail that's out here called the Heritage Trail. I've never run it from beginning to end. I've run almost all parts of it. That part that's pavement, that's on the trail in the Dubuque area on the far east side. I've not run that part, but because it's just running through a neighborhood. But I've run everything else on that multiple times, and I've always wanted to run the whole thing. Now I figure it's a good time. And I've been trying to get it established as a route. You have to get it established as a route first, and then you can submit your time. And so I didn't want to have to run it twice. So I've submitted a GPS tracing from I think I'd use Map My Run to make that, and then submitted that, and I'll resubmit a new one. So we'll see. So we'll see what's going on. Bert Leguess is saying blocked and reported Mario, and I don't see his chats. I don't think we need to block him. I think he was chilling out. He said Mario Glory did say LOL at some point. So, I mean, hopefully he'll behave, because I don't understand the point of just coming in here and Baba booing the live stream. I mean, if that's how he wants to spend his time, that's cool. But, I usually feel like people like that, want attention. And then as soon as you give it to them, it's a lot of times it's what happened to Garth when he was on public access TV by himself. All of a sudden, he just kind of freezes up. And so we'll see. Yeah. So that's what's going on with the fastest known time attempt. So we'll do that in a couple weeks. But it going from being a 24 and change run in terms of miles to a 29-mile run, kind of eases a little bit of pressure and lets me do it a little bit sooner. Because if it was going to be 24 miles, I feel I should probably try to run that kind of fast. And so I was thinking, well, maybe 7 to 15 miles, 7-minute, 30-second miles, and then I'm I'm not used to running those kinds of miles. So I'm going to have to do some maybe I'll need to do some fartlek work, some tempo work to get ready. So I was thinking like 3 or 4 weeks. But if we're going to make it a 30-mile run, I'm just running to finish it. I can do that in like 2 weeks, I think. So we'll see. Mark Chankokos here says, I love the live stream when I can make it. We love it when you can make it too. Even when you can't make it, we still love you, buddy. Thanks for coming. Super Schmaltz said, hello, Lincoln Park is open. I wanted to go for a jog and check it out. Too tired and too uncertain when little dude would wake up. Yeah, that's what I hear. I've been hearing, and I've been seeing it on my Instagram feed. A lot of people going back to the lakefront, taking pictures of the beautiful skyline and being out by the water. And I don't think the lakefront trail is technically actually open. My understanding is like the actual path is still closed and the water is still closed. But my understanding was that in the current phase, all parks west of Lakeshore Drive are now open, which probably means I think the driving range might be open again. I don't know if the golf course is open again. I'm not sure. But I mean, it's movement. I don't know if it's progress, but it's movement. I'm still, I don't know if I'm just going to be that guy that's going to be the last one to come out of the fallout bunker or what, but it just still makes me a little bit nervous. But hopefully it's just fine and that people can start enjoying the outdoors. I know that I've certainly been enjoying running in open spaces. So I'm not going to begrudge anyone for wanting to do that because it's just been really, really nice here. Catherine, speaking of the country road, says, I love to see you running on those country roads. You look so happy. I'm a city dweller myself, but making a move soon. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, I've been enjoying running on the dirt roads. It's been, these dirt roads are new to me, but the dirt roads in this region aren't that new to me. But I've been, it's been so nice. It's such like an exact opposite of what it was like running in Chicago for the past couple of months. And it's been really nice for me. I don't think I'm trying to think of the only time I've had to stop during a run has been when there's a certain hill where I can run on the opposite side of a guardrail, but I have to hop over it at certain points and then hop back out. So those are the only times that I'll stop. Otherwise, I just get out there and I just run the entire time. There's no stopping. No stopping for traffic lights, people, bikes, none of that. So it's just really nice. I feel like I was in Chicago, I was running along the schedule of all the garbage trucks. So every morning it was me and garbage trucks. It's kind of what it's starting to feel like. Well, and Jabba the Rat. I think there was mention of Jabba the Rat earlier in some of the comments, but so I was seeing a lot of the rats and seeing a lot of the garbage trucks. So this is very different for sure. Moonwalker says, what do you think the Chicago, what are the chances you think the Chicago Marathon being canceled? I say 80%. I would say that's probably about right. I just got an email from them yesterday saying that they're still not deciding, right? So they're still they're not yet ready to make a decision. They realize and recognize that it's June and it's getting very close from a training perspective and all those other logistical considerations and planning. But they're not yet ready to make a decision on whether or not it's going to go forward. It seems like, Illinois and the rest of the region and the city of Chicago are ready to start barreling forward. But Lori Lightfoot today in her, I didn't watch her press conference, but she was, there's a Block Club Chicago reporter that I follow on Twitter, and she was live tweeting it and saying, Lori Lightfoot still very much has COVID-19 as a very big concern for her in terms of public health and making sure that it doesn't spread any further. She's anticipating a potential second wave, if not a mini resurgence of this first one. So she's definitely got it on her mind and is very concerned about those things. So I don't think that it's going to, I still don't think it's going to go, but 80% is probably, it's an arbitrary number, but it seems about right. Martha says, did you know that beautiful Hyperion Tempo now comes in reverse white with black highlights? Same upper, same bright blue sole. Oh, really? Interesting. Oh wait, I have seen that one. Yeah. That's a good one. That is a good one. That's this shoe over here, but it comes in white now, or it's not like a white, it's like a cream color. It's like a cookies and cream for sure. That's what I would certainly call it. Because I mean, this blue foam already seems like very dessert-like to me. This stuff right here, but yeah. So I think like the with the white upper, it's very like cookies and cream. CJ Cruz says, "What shorts were you wearing in the FKT training video?" I think I was I think I was wearing half tights. I only brought a handful of shorts with me. I brought 2 pairs of the half tights, and they're both the same one, just different color. One's gray, one's black, and they're the Challenger. They're Roadrunner Sports. They have their own brand called R Gear, the R Gear Challenger half tight, the 7-inch version. There's a 9-inch version too, but I prefer the 7-inch version. Those are my favorite pants. The other pants that I brought, I don't think these were in the video because I wore them today, but I might have worn them and then washed them. I brought my John G shorts. There's a 5-inch short that's just black that I have, and then I brought a pair of 5-inch Path Project shorts and a 7-inch Path Project short. So I think those are the only running shorts that I brought with me. So it's one of those. I don't remember which one I was wearing. Motivation Theory Running, good to see you. He says, Baba Booey. Oh, Howard Stern's show stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so there's that. Let's see. Tony, you says, thanks for another live stream. How sore are your arms after a run, giving you hold a selfie stick the entire time? I'm used to it by now. I don't really notice it. You know, I remember the first marathon I ran with a GoPro was the 2017 Chicago Marathon. And I just remember I held it in a little, like, it was like this big, and then the camera stuck on top of it. It was a little alligator clip that if you unfold it, you can hold it like a little stubby handle. And I ran with that, and I just remember thinking, oh, this is so heavy. What a mistake this was to try and bring this camera with me the whole time. I should have planned to hand it off to someone, like somewhere like in the middle, and then pick it up towards the end so I could have like not run with it. And now I just run with it all the time, so I'm used to it. So it doesn't bother me that much. Patrick Funk says, things are opening up in Alberta, Canada. Swimming pools and gyms are starting to open back up. Interesting. Yeah, Super Schmaltz is confirming, though, that the Lakefront Trail is still closed and the driving range will be, but folks are sneaking out on the trail. Yeah, I saw a tweet from like the Chicago Police Scanner that has a Twitter account, and what they'll do is they'll just like kind of repeat funny things that they hear. And so like dispatch says, puts out like, you know, a group of joggers seen running along the lakefront, and the cop responds, who cares? And then so this was right at like the height of all like the protests and when things were getting and really rowdy. And so it makes sense. But I think that it's kind of like the police are very tired. It's very, very low on their priorities at this point. Say COVID Dave says, I'm nervous too. Here in Florida, we've had the most new cases in the last 4 days and any other 4-day span of the pandemic. Yeah, I mean, I mean, it still hasn't gone away, right? And so like, it's still confusing. It's still new. People are still figuring it out, you know? So it's a lot to be worried about. Tony, you says, add this to your playlist. John Denver's Country Roads. Yeah, you know, I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks lately, so I actually haven't been listening to very much music at all. But that's a good one. Today I'm drinking just out of the water bottle, but I've got Noon. This is my favorite, the mango orange. It's got a little bit of caffeine in it. Very tasty. Let's see. We'll do one more question from here, and then we'll get to Trivia Tuesday, Iowa edition, Iowa running edition, which I had a hard time with. But so the next question is from Inez Dunbar. Are the road shoes coping well with the dirt? And I will say for the most part, yes. But I've been running in daily trainers, and I ran in terms of shoes that aren't exactly daily trainers, I've run with the Fuel Cell Rebel and the Boston 9. And so those are shoes that some people do use as daily trainers, so they're not completely out of their element, but they were a lot of fun to run in, and I thought they did great. The shoe that the Fuel Cell Rebel did not like some of the larger rocks that are on some of the dirt roads out here. So I found myself like looking for the areas where there were like ruts or like smooth buffed out areas of the road. But the Boston 9 seemed fine. Didn't really have to worry too much about like if there were rocks kind of on the dirt roads. Cause a lot of times they'll lay down the rocks as like gravel for hillier areas. So that way the trucks, there's a lot of farm equipment and big trucks that go on those roads. can get up and down the hills a little bit more safely. So that's the only thing that's been having a hard time with it. And other than that, they just get a little dirty, but that's fine. They're just being used and loved, and so that's cool. All right, so let's get to the trivia for today, and see how we're doing there. So the theme for today is Iowa running, and so some of them are a little bit harder, right? And so I've tried to make them a little bit easier, because like it'll be like, well, this is a random obscure like trivia question, and then I'll curve it around to kind of like make it a little bit easier on everybody. All right, so remember, there's no points, there's no prizes. Wrong answers are encouraged, especially if they're corny dad jokes. But no one's gonna win anything. We're just gonna have some fun. All right, so the first question, I think this one should be easy, so we'll go with that one. Here's the first question. Question number 1. Held yearly in Des Moines, Iowa, what outdoor track and field meet event is known for its bright blue track? All right, Stevie76, says he's got the hand on the buzzer. And let's see. All right. Yeah, I'm seeing Mario Glory here and there. And it looks like other people are still seeing him too. But yeah, I guess we'll just block him. Yeah, Mark Chancoco. Mario, I don't know. I think what happened is Mario is really mad that I'm not reviewing the Asics. I don't know how to even say that word. The Tartharazal, that shoe. He's been asking, not even asking. He just comments and just all caps yells Asics Tartharazal or whatever that shoe is. And then like at some point, many days after protests had already started. So like not like initially when the event had happened. Like the rage was delayed. All of a sudden he has like this like rage. So I don't know. He's just grabbing onto something. Anyway, so let's see what the answers are. See, I see the correct answer in here already. Key verification says Cornhuskers 1000. That's a pretty good answer. Texas Relays. Coco goes, OMG, these are hard. Corny. Lewis Cameron says corny. I see what you did there. I didn't even pick up on that. And corny is a word that I actually do use. But yeah, so we got the right answer. I think the first correct answer was from Drake, which makes sense because it's the Drake Relays. So I don't know if that's why Drake Ultra knows that, but it is the Drake Relays. They have that beautiful blue track surface, which is so unique. I don't think I've seen another bright blue track like that before, which is I've seen the Drake uniforms. It's more of like a darker blue, I feel like. So like the blues don't match. Maybe just the uniforms haven't been matching lately or what. But it is the Drake Relays. I remember Mario Gloria is telling me, is a fast shoe. Go goggle it. The Asics Tartharazal 6. LOL. You forgot to say his name. And I don't think that's a shoe that's for sale in the U.S. So I'm not sure how you expect me to discuss it or talk about it or have it. If you want to send me a pair, let me know. You can DM me any way you want, or you can continue yelling at me in the comments. And you can send me a pair, and I'll put it on camera. I'll make a video about it. I'll dedicate it to you, and we can have a discussion. All right. Drake Hultree says, it's not because his first name is Drake that is the only reason that he knows that. Awesome. Yeah, you know your channel is big when you have Drake in the chat. Awesome. All right, very cool, very cool. That was the warm up. All right, here's another one. I think this is a fun one. All right, name, and this is another one that also involves Des Moines, Iowa. Question 2: name the Des Moines, Iowa native who competed in the 2008 and 2012 Summer Olympics as a hurdler, and then in the 2014 Winter Olympics as a bobsledder. All right, so let's see. Anyone know? Yeah, JC saying Drake's a ringer. Let's see. Gavin Braden saying Blue Man Group annual 5K funathon. That's funny. All right. Steve says, I think Ben Parks ran on a blue track in the French Alps that looked amazing. Oh, that's crazy. He runs in some amazing places, though. He has always, it's just so spectacular, some of his running. So very cool. So let's see if we're getting some answers in here. Let's see. Cody Davis just says Steve. Bert Legas says Drake. It was. I don't think it was Drake Hultree. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. I don't think so. All right. Let's see. But it looks like I think everyone figured that one out already. Lots of good answers coming already. So I think the first one, though, that I see is Jeff Elliott with Lolo Jones. Yes, that is the correct answer with Lolo Jones, who didn't go to school in Iowa. She went to school somewhere else. But she went to high school here, and I think spent a lot of her life in Iowa. And then definitely did compete in 2 Olympics as a 110 hurdler, I think, and then in the bobsled, which is like a very strange. I don't think that there's a lot of athletes. That could be a trivia day too. A lot of athletes that have competed in the Winter and Summer Olympics. So yeah, I know Bert, like I was saying, is like a cool runnings thing, very much so. Yeah. Jody Run says, any international questions? I don't think that there's going to be any international questions on this. Well, there's kind of an international aspect to the next one, but it's Iowa themed, so it's not going to be very international today. So what's funny is my brother-in-law, he's been doing a lot of trivia as well, and he decided to do like Zoom trivia for all of our family. And he had like an Iowa themed one around. His trivia was intense. It took like 2.5 hours. There was like 6 rounds, and there was Google Docs involved. And you had to like submit your answers in writing, and there's like 6 questions per round. It was like really intense. And there was an Iowa round, and like I didn't get any of them right. But my wife, the Iowa native, also didn't get any of them right either. So yeah, so that was a little bit. That was very tough. These aren't going to be nearly that tough. All right. Jeff Elliott says, I was right and I didn't cheat. Just love Lolo Jones. Yeah, Jeff Elliott, do you know what is she doing now? What is she up to now? Arnold Allen says, LSU. Is that right? LSU? I thought she went somewhere that was it? It could be. I'm not sure. Super Small says Lolo, of course. Lolo. Yeah. Mark Shankoka says, she's literally my favorite. Awesome. Yeah, Bert Legas says a lot of sub-top runners end up in bobsled team. Is that true? It's funny. So here at M says this quiz is hard for Europeans. I think this quiz is going to be hard for Americans too, except for the people. I didn't realize Lolo Jones was so popular in this group. But I would tell you that I would have a hard time answering most of these questions. It took me a long time to come up with questions, and I wish that, like, I'm not trying to knock Iowa's running heritage or history, but it's tough. It's tough. Yeah. So this was hard. It took me a long time to kind of find questions, and towards the end, you'll see, I'm really stretching it. I'm really stretching it, trying to find the Iowa connection. Arnold Allen says Lolo Jones is an influencer now. Oh, I'm gonna have to see if I can follow her like on Instagram or something. Arnold says she definitely went to LSU. Very cool. Very cool. All right. So let's get to the next question here. So question 4. Question 3. All right. See, this is where it gets weird. And this kind of has a European connection, a French connection as well, which I'll explain. But so question number 3. This is a question where you can just like think about it's running Iowa themed and just guess the answer. But here's the question. Richard Olney was a famous food writer who once taught cooking classes in James Beard's kitchen in the West Village. Name the Iowa town where he was born. And so I was looking up just random Iowa facts and like Iowa celebrities. And this guy, Richard Olney, who I'm not familiar with, but apparently went to France and wrote a lot of, was influential in a lot of early writing about, or at least American writing about French cuisine and French cooking. He was one of the early champions, at least according to the Wikipedia article that I read about him. One of the early champions of like seasonal cooking in terms of like cooking and eating what's available depending on the season. So, cool. Anton Velarde coming in with the super chat. Thanks so much, Anton. Saying keep it up. Love it. That's cool. I love that little gift that's in there. Awesome. All right. Yeah, Martha says it's fun for non-Iowans. We can also yell stupid things and try to be funny. Brett Rhodes says Iowa City. Louis Becerra, that's not correct. Louis Becerra says no idea. Cody Davis says Joey Tribbiani. That is not it. Nathan N says I have no idea on the answers. Yeah. And Europeans can just yell stupid things and try to be funny. Yeah. Then anyone can just yell and try to find funny answers. Spence OMZ says I live one state over from Iowa and I don't know any of the answers. Spence, depending on which one state over you are, you might be able to get the last question for today. So, all right. So we got Des Moines. It's not Des Moines. Let's see. But Iowa themed. Field of Dreams. No, not the Field of Dreams either. Duluth, Ames, Grand Rapids. No. Is Grand Rapids a city in Iowa? I don't know. There's so many things that say rapids in it. PK says Dubuque. It's not Dubuque either. All right. And Bert coming in with Super Chat as well. 229 euros. Awesome. Here's some Belgian beer money. Awesome. Thank you very much. I'm going to have to do that. I think you were talking about Belgian beers for the last happy hour as well. So definitely we'll have to make sure we get some Belgian beers once I'm able to go get out and about a little bit and do some more shopping. No. The food writer did not invent the taco pizza. I think he probably would be appalled by it. But the town he's from is, and I will say his name, Mario, town he's from is Richard Only, is from Marathon, Iowa. So that's why I did that. Brendan Cam coming in with Super Chat as well for $5. Thanks so much. Saying have a great evening. Thank you very much, Brandon. That's awesome. Glad to have you here. So I picked Marathon, Iowa because I was just like, well, it's marathon themed, Shanonymous says, my internet's not working. Here's Iowa trivia: Dubuque, Des Moines, Davenport, Marshalltown, Mason City, Keowak, and Amy. That's funny. So it's Marathon, Iowa. And there used to be a marathon race. It was called the Marathon 2 Marathon. And that ended, I think, in 2017, from what I can tell from like the website. And but another marathon in Texas has since picked up the website and now is running an event called the Marathon 2 Marathon. So pretty cool, I think. Yeah. So that was question number 3. Yeah, I feel like these aren't that good questions, guys, today. I'm sorry about that. Arnold Elena says it's pronounced marathon in Texas. I don't know if I could do a Texas accent. I'm not sure. Catherine Ham says, "Ooh, I see what you did. Marathon, LOL." Yeah. Thank you for patronizing me and humoring me. Not patronizing, but humoring me, guys, today with my my Iowa questions. And so, who was it that was saying I live the state over from Iowa? This is the one that you might be able to get. All right. So, it's about Warren Buffett, because I don't know if you guys know, but I have like a weird kind of like man crush obsession with Warren Buffett. I think he's awesome. Just such a peculiar guy. So Warren Buffett, whose company Berkshire Hathaway owns Brooks, is based out of Omaha, Nebraska. What Iowa city? It's not Iowa City, but what city in Iowa is on the other side of the river that forms Omaha's eastern border? All right. Anyone got that one? So this one is just a geography question. So if you know what's on the other side of the river from Omaha, then you'll be able to get this one. Jody Run says, you should have an international beer tasting stream where you comment on your opinion. Maybe that's what we'll do for one of the mukbangs coming up. Once I can get out, Iowa does have a pretty good beer selection, from what I can tell. Like in terms of at least beers that are available, I remember there was a wider selection for a long time in Iowa than there was in Chicago. I think the main reason for that is Chicago, for a lot of reasons, was very restrictive in terms of the alcohol that could be imported into the state. Not legitimate reasons, but like regulating alcohol has always been like a thing in Chicago. I mean, it's where Al Capone lived and did a lot of his business. So, so there's that. All right. Michael Sesser says, my first half marathon was going to be in Riceville, Iowa, but was canceled, obviously. Whoa. You know who should be a sponsor of the Riceville, Iowa half marathon? Hype Rice. That would be a great sponsor. Nathan N says, shoes and stock market. Arnold Allen is talking about, doesn't matter the accent, that's how it's pronounced, marathon. I don't know if it's pronounced that way. I guess we'd have to ask someone that's Greek about how it's pronounced. But all right, we got the right answer here. Paul Bratcher has Cedar Rapids, which is not it, but Spencer Ohms coming in with Council Bluffs. That is correct. Council Bluffs is on just the other side of the river from Omaha. And I wanted to get Warren Buffett into the trivia somehow. I felt like today was my best chance. So not really Iowa, but it was kind of close. I'm going to count it. The other person that I was trying to get in here, like I got to the point where I was getting desperate and I was like, you know what? Maybe there could just be like a random Iowa celebrity that like had, for some reason on their Wikipedia page, has like a distinguished high school running like career on there listed. So I was looking up like Ashton Kutcher, and then I was trying to think of like who else is from Iowa, who spent time in Iowa. And then I spent a lot of time. Oh, I think the next question is, I won't give away how I found the next one, but the next, so I was just looking around for like random like Iowa connection. I was like, I wonder if Chuck Grassley, I wonder if that he's a politician from Iowa. I wonder if he, like, I bet you he ran track like 30 or 40 years ago, however old he is. But I couldn't find anything on his website about it. But Michael Sussler, a half marathon in Riceville. That's pretty cool. All right, let's see what else we got here. Bert Legas says just more cornfields. I think there probably are a lot of cornfields though. But like that area, Omaha, isn't that near where? No, maybe I got that wrong. I'm trying to think of where Quaker Oats, not Quaker Oats. There's a cereal, General Mills is somewhere over there, isn't there? So I feel like there's a lot of rail, and also must be like corn, because there's corn for cornflakes and wheat, right? I'm not sure. Jeremy Trublet says, whatever it is on the other side of the river, it must be heaven after driving through Nebraska. Martha says, Warren Buffett is indeed awesome. Cedar Rapids? No, but it was close. Carter Lake, Nathan had said. All right, let's see. Mario, you make it hard for me to read all the other comments that are in here. Bert Legas says, Warren Buffett just wanted running shoes and his assistant bought the whole company. That's a funny joke. I wonder if people actually joke about that. But you know what I do appreciate about that is that, like, it's a success story. A lot of times I feel like when like holding companies or larger companies buy like these smaller, kind of kooky or offbeat companies, that a lot of times they like tamp down a lot of like the weirdness and the eccentricity and the idiosyncrasy that makes them fun. But it seems like I don't remember the transition happening in real time, but going back and reading up on the history of it, it seems like they did a really good job of like, kind of straightening them out in terms of like their product offerings and like streamlining their product line. But also letting them still kind of be themselves and funding them in a way that let them grow. So it's cool. Brooks is a company that I really root for. I don't always love their shoes, although I do love this one. But I don't always love their shoes, but it is a company that I root for. Let's see. Let's see, Mario coming in with a comment. I don't know if this is a true comment or not, but he did post it about 1 million times. Maybe his enter key is just stuck. But he says, I did the Dubuque half about 12 years ago, and no warning of a train on the course. A sea of runners sprinting to avoid getting stuck and losing time. Whoa, that sounds like something that could happen. But I also feel like, would they do that? Is that true? That's crazy. The other surprising thing about that is there's a Dubuque half marathon. I didn't know that, but that's a fascinating story. Awesome, Mario. Let's see. All right. Now it's starting to get a little bit. Now something's happening to me in the in my chat where let's see. It's asking me to review a lot of the things that Mario is posting because it's getting a little bit vulgar. It's not directed at me. It's just getting not polite discourse. So. So is that something that happened with running in P? Is that what's going on? I don't know. Mario's messing it up. I'm getting a little confused today. Oh, so Mario did the Dubuque Half Marathon about 12 years ago. Cool. Well, anyway. That's funny. That's crazy. All right, now I'm starting to make a little bit sense. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Mario is like a broken robot up in here. I guess he's having fun. That's cool. Mario, where are you from? Maybe I'm too nice to Mario, but I always feel like people just want to be heard, and I hear you. I hear you, man. If you want to hang out, this is a great place to hang out, you know? So, yeah, can you want to say hi, Mario? Anyway, we'll see. See, he's like the, I don't know. If you want to hang out, we can hang out. Let's get to the next question while we're waiting to see if Mario wants to engage. All right. So, question number 5. Hillary Bohr was a 3,000 meter steeplechaser who competed for the U.S. in the 2016 Rio Olympics. See, it sounds like this question is going to be really hard because you're like, who's Hillary Bohr? I don't know that guy. The question is, what university did he attend? Remember, it's Iowa-themed running trivia today, so there's only a couple of like answers that it could probably be. But what university did Hillary Bohr, the steeplechase Olympian, attend? Brett Reed said he should definitely call in on the radio show. Yeah, Mario from Italy. If you want to call in on Friday, we do phone in Friday. I've seen other people calling in from other countries, so I think we could do it internationally. But if you want to call in on Friday, you can call in. We can have a conversation. We can talk about anything that you like. All right. Jeff Elliott says, I like steeplechase. I wanted to get a steeplechase question in here because I'm still obsessed with the steeplechase, and I want to do a steeplechase. The thing is, like, I don't know where I would ever practice a steeplechase. So like anytime I like did a steeplechase would be like the first time I've seen the barriers. So that'll be interesting. So Steve 76 says WashU. He did not go to WashU. WashU is in St. Louis. There used to be a shirt because back when I went to WashU, no one knew where WashU was. And so there was a shirt that says Washington University in St. Louis, damn it, is what like the shirt said. Because everyone was like so tired of saying like, no, not in DC. No, not in Washington State. It's Washington University in St. Louis, which makes no sense. But, you know, that's just what it was called. That's what it is called. And so that's the shirt that we had. You know what? But I never got the shirt. I should have bought one. I just thought it was so silly to have one. But now I think it'd be funny to kind of have it. Because I think now a lot of people know where it is. But yeah, when I went there, like my guidance counselor had like never even heard of it in high school. So, yeah. All right. Nathan N. coming in with University of Iowa. That's not it. The correct answer came in from, I think Arnold was the first one. No, Will Graz says Iowa State. That's right. Iowa State is the first one. Iowa State very helpfully has a Wikipedia page called like Iowa State track and field. And there's a section called Olympians. So I was able to just like look through there and try to pick someone out. I wanted to find like a recent marathoner, but I couldn't find anyone. Instead, I found Hillary Bohr, who was, I think, the most recent Olympian, at least according to that Wikipedia page. I'm sure that there's updates. I'm sure that there's other Iowa State athletes that have probably made some or may have made some Olympic teams for 2020, but we just don't know yet. So there's that. Let's see. Cal Runs Boulder says, the Mohawk Hudson Marathon in New York warns a train can stop you and they can't adjust your time for BQ if you get stopped. They do have timing maps before and after a potential train stop spot. Whoa, that's crazy. That's so funny. Can you imagine if you're like, I mean, I get like, would you pick that if like you're really trying to go for your BQ? Like, would you pick that as your race? I don't think that I would, because I'd be like, oh, well, what if the train comes that day? But like, you would think though, if it's like a freight train, there's got to be a pretty regular schedule. But I don't know. Like, there's a freight train that goes through town here, and we can hear it pretty regularly because it has to blow its horn because it has a whole bunch of grade crossings, and we can hear it. But it does. I haven't picked up like a pattern or anything of it yet, but I haven't been listening to it that close. So. Jonas says, no idea about Iowa universities. Is there an Iowa State University? If so, I'll pick that one. Yeah, there is an Iowa State, and that is the correct answer. Awesome. Yeah. Let's see. Will Grass says, as an Iowan, it's fun to randomly have a trivia about my home state. Iowa isn't usually a popular topic of conversation. Oh, wow. That's funny. I was having a hard time, though, finding, because of Iowa's significance in political elections, anytime you put like Iowa and running, all you get is like Democratic or Republican like political campaigns, because it's like so and so is running in Iowa. It's one of the earlier states as part of the election process. For those of you in Europe that may not know, you guys probably do, but in case you guys don't, and so when the election process kind of begins, many more candidates are running or are in the running in Iowa than, for example, once by the time like even the primaries and like the election process gets to Illinois, just the next state over, a lot of the field has been whittled down. And so like when you do like Iowa and running, you get a lot of like political campaign type news. So it was hard. I really struggled today. And you'll see that with the bonus question. Let's do the bonus question real quick. It's not even about running because I just couldn't find a sixth question to talk about. But Bert Leguess is talking about cycling races in Belgium that cross a trainway. So that'll be a nice little transition. So bonus question is, RAGBRAI is the very famous bike race. It's like a rally that goes across the state of Iowa. You start on the western end, and I think you start like, do you start like dipping your tires in a river? I know when you get to the eastern end, you dip your tires in the water of the Mississippi River. So I think you go from like water to water. But the question is, what does RAGBRAI stand for? Let's see. But Bert Leguess was talking about cycling races in Belgium that cross a train railway. If they don't stop when the train is coming, they are disqualified. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Risks are often taken when barriers are closing and they still keep going. Yeah, that could definitely be real. Yeah, I could see that too with like, especially for that Mohawk race that we were talking about earlier. Like, oh man. I could see people like trying to run around or like look over and be like, I got to get my BQ and run underneath the barrier and try to get to the other side before the train gets here. That just is like asking for such a risk. Oh man. Martha says, I heard I was planning on changing the caucus to a primary or something after this year's problems. Yeah, there's been a lot of discussion about it, and it was a real fiasco. I don't think anyone was happy with how it turned out this year. They decided to use an app like for the first time. And then it still ended up that you have to bring like a paper card with you or something. I don't really know. I've never really, like, I understand the caucus system and I love the idea of it, but it just seems like very much like it's very educational because you get to talk to like your neighbors and your community about who you're voting for and why, if you want to give like speeches and stuff. And there's representatives from the candidates that talk and give their talking points. But it also seems like very counterintuitive to the idea that like we vote in private. You know, we vote with secrecy, like you go into the booth and no one can see who you vote for. And then, but for the caucus, at least for Iowa, you do that, like you have to like raise your hand or like walk to a portion of the room and stand with the other people that are like voting similarly or that you want to vote with. And so like, it's very, very public. And I just feel like that leaves a lot of room for intimidation. It can make it very hard for like newcomers in terms of the political scene to kind of break through, which always, I think, barriers to new people entering into the political career kind of atmosphere, I think is always difficult. So going to RAGBRAI, something bicycle ride across Iowa. That is correct for that part. It's the something. Let's see. I had to remind myself what the A is for. So Cody Davis says, I know Lance Armstrong rides RAGBRAI. Does he still ride it? I know he's done it before. I don't know if he still does it. Let's see. You know, I was reading or listening to Matt Fitzgerald's Iron War about triathlons, and I didn't know that Lance Armstrong, I don't know if he's always did it concurrently or if he started out doing triathlons, but like there was some talk about Lance Armstrong in the book too. So I didn't know that he had done both. Martha says Ragnar bike across Iowa. That's kind of close, but not exactly it. But I'll go with the answer is because I think I definitely derailed like the trivia question by bringing up the caucuses. But the answer is Register's annual bike ride across Iowa. And the Register is the Des Moines Register, which is the newspaper. So a newspaper kind of like started this. I remember reading up on the history of it a little while ago. I think it wasn't just like a pure like publicity stunt. There was like a very sensible connection for how it like happened. And I think that for a while there were two rides. There were two like annual, like competing like annual run, like rides across the state. And eventually it merged into one and became RAGBRAI. But yeah, so like the Register for I think it was the Des Moines Register annual bike ride, or is it rally? Bike? I wrote it down. Great bicycle ride across Iowa. So RAGBRAI. So, yep. All right. Yeah, someone was saying, Will Gross saying, caucuses worked great 100 years ago, but they aren't practical anymore. Yeah. Jeff A. says, I couldn't imagine wanting to spend time doing a caucus. Yeah. I think it's CAUCUS. I think that's right. Caucus. Yeah. Yeah. Will says, the bad thing about the caucus is you have to be there at a certain time to participate, where primaries, you just go and you vote whenever you want. Yeah. So Stevie76 says, what's a newspaper? That's a great question. Very good question. Jeremy Trueblood says, thanks again, Kafuzi. Fun quiz. Since I'm originally from the Quad Cities, Japan is opening up, so I'm back to work, so I gotta go. Awesome. Good luck to you there. Have fun at work. And I think that's a good way to end it for today. I hope you guys did have fun on the quiz today. I really tried to make it kind of connect to where I'm at now and like kind of the things that are around me in Iowa. And I stretched a little bit out of my comfort zone, but hopefully I'm getting better at like writing these trivia questions. So I had to kind of like stretch different muscles today. So I feel like that's going to help. Let's see. Tomorrow I'll be back. Tomorrow's just Wednesday, right? I'm losing track of days, but tomorrow's Wednesday because today's Trivia Tuesday. So tomorrow's Wednesday, 3 p.m. here on YouTube if you want to join in the live stream again. In the meantime, hope you guys stay safe on your runs, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, everybody.